When I lived in Munich on my own for a year where I wasn't working as an au pair, I was counting my pennies. I was really being frugal because there was not a lot of money. And one of the meals that I kind of put together based on some other recipes that I would have regularly was very, very inexpensive, but incredibly delicious. And it's something that I make regularly to this day. It's a simple spaghetti dinner. It's vegan, there's no dairy in it. And what makes this meal incredible are two things. The method of cooking it, which is you have to really pay attention to certain steps, and the quality of the ingredients. If a meal has a few ingredients or a dish has a few ingredients in it, and those ingredients are the best you can source, it's going to change the whole meal and make it incredible. So try to do that when you can. This pasta dinner has spaghetti. My favorite brand is Cecco. I love Cecco. It has tomatoes, like canned tomatoes. My favorite brand is Mutti. These are the two brands that I would buy when I lived in Munich, and I would buy them when they were on sale, and I would buy cases of them, put them in my bike basket, bring them home, and put them under my bed because I had roommates. So it was like my method of eating well was to stock up. And then the last ingredient that is really important is your olive oil. I invest in olive oil. That's how I see it. I spend a decent amount of money on the best olive oil I can buy because it lasts a long time and it makes a world of difference. This is like drizzling olive oil today. I'm actually going to cook with it also, but this is my favorite olive oil, Nicholas Elziari. There's also in this dish fresh basil. So you can buy cut fresh basil from the grocery store, or you can grow your own. I have another video about how to pot up grocery store basil. Look how nicely this is doing. And I've been using it, and as you use it, it continues to grow. So I've brought the pot into the kitchen because I'm going to cut the basil right off the plant. Let's get started. So what you need to do is boil some water for your spaghetti. I'm also going to heat up this pan for the sauce. I'm going to make a portion for one today. So this is what I would do if it was just me on my lonesome cooking, but adjust this accordingly. And for one, I'm going to use, like an inch in diameter of spaghetti. Into some salted water. Did I put salt in there? Can't remember. This is a very small pot for boiling spaghetti, but it does work. I just do this. Manipulate it into the water, and once it comes to a boil, I give it a little swirl. Okay. Now, I'm going to chop up some garlic. If you can buy garlic at a farmer's market or farm stand, do it. And if you're buying garlic from a grocery store, try to figure out the source and buy US grown garlic. There's a lot of imported garlic from like all over the world, and there's a lot of garlic that really has no flavor. So it's kind of pointless using it. I get my garlic from California, from McFadden Family Farms, and it comes in the form of a garlic braid. Every August, I order a garlic braid, and it lasts up until about July, and then the garlic cloves start to go kind of off. But then it's time to order another one. So it works out very well to order a garlic braid. I love this stuff because it's like California grown garlic. The sign of good garlic is when you try to peel it and the peel won't come off easily and it's sticky. If you're like trying to pull the peel off and you feel this sticky substance, that's a great sign that the garlic is good because it's like fresh, and there's oils in the garlic that have made a very healthy, thick skin that's adhering that skin to the garlic. I've proven to myself that this theory is true by the taste of the garlic. Like whenever that happens, I'll just put a little bit in my mouth or I'll cook with it and there's a huge difference. So you see how this peel is like, I have to really pry it off with the knife. That's a good thing. Okay? You need quite a bit of garlic for this recipe. For one portion, like I'm just making this for me, I'm going to use 3 cloves of garlic. So if you were making this for 4 people, that's 12 cloves of garlic. A lot of garlic. And my roommates, they would know that I was cooking. They would say in German, ah, Knoblauch, which means garlic, because they could smell it from their bedrooms when I would start making my spaghetti dinner. Slice this garlic finely. I'm going to open this can of tomatoes to just get them ready. Okay. Now I'm going to put some olive oil into my pan. So the oil, this is one of the most important steps of this process. The garlic should sizzle in this oil, but it should not color. Once the garlic starts to turn brown, the flavor changes from being sweet to sour, and you've ruined the dish if that happens. So I tested out, and it's not sizzling yet, which means the oil needs to get a little hotter. There we go. So this should cook in this oil, sizzling gently. And as that's happening, I'm going to add some dried chilies. These are bird's eye chilies, which are very hot. You can use chili flakes, which aren't as hot. And I'm going to take a few basil leaves from my plant and add those as well to this garlic. Now I'm keeping a close watch on this. It's sizzling. As it's sizzling, the garlic is releasing its flavor into the oil. And now I'm going to add the tomatoes, and have a look at this. It has not colored at all, which is really important. The garlic has not changed color. So once the tomatoes go in and start bubbling, just break them up with the spoon. And you want this to cook down. You want to reduce this. Just increase the heat and let them come to a simmer. I'm going to add a little bit of salt at this point. There. And we'll just let that continue to cook for a few minutes while my spaghetti continues cooking as well. Okay, this is boiling really nicely. I don't want this, you don't want the spaghetti, well, you cook it to your own preference, but I don't like it soggy. So I've lowered the heat so that it's not going to overcook, because it's going to finish cooking kind of in this sauce. Have a look at these tomatoes now. Like they've just, within 2 minutes, they've broken down. These are cooking aggressively, which is what you want. You want this to reduce into a thicker sauce, which won't take very long. When I lived in Munich, before I moved out on my own, I was an au pair for 1 year, and I was blessed to have a wonderful family to work for. The mother of that family was an incredible cook, Anna, and we're still in contact today. And it was Anna that taught me to not look at spending a lot of money on food things as wasteful or extravagant. she said that so many people eat out. And when you cook at home, you're saving so much money by cooking at home. Not only are you just spending less on that food itself, but you're not paying for like service. You don't have to tip anybody. So use that money to buy the best ingredients possible. And where this came up was because I was in charge of doing the grocery shopping. I would be given a list and I would have to go out into town and find all these things, which was, let me tell you, to get paid to do that job was like so much fun. I had all this cash in my hand, and then it was like a scavenger hunt. Go to this shop in this little place where you'll meet a French woman and make sure you buy 2 jars of the jam that she has made on Sunday. I was like, what? What is my life? And one of the things that sort of started coming up was, Anna, I ran out of money because I've been spending so much money on olive oil. The bottle of olive oil that I had to buy every few weeks was like 70 euros. And I couldn't believe it the first time I went to get it. I was like, what? 70? But I learned, like, that was such a great opportunity for me because I was also cooking with that stuff. So I would cook with this stuff and drizzle the olive oil atop of a dish. And I could taste the difference. And when I moved out on my own, I did continue that practice. I bought like the best olive oil possible. Because when you're cooking like this, where everything is so simple, this stuff is very inexpensive. But it's that final touch that just elevates everything. And I learned that from Anna. Because I wasn't raised that way. I was raised that you go in the grocery store and you buy what's on sale. And you buy the cheapest thing. You buy the olive oil that's like $3.99, which now we know is not real olive oil. This is almost there. Look at how beautiful this is. It's thick. You can even see that it's bubbling in a different way as it thickens. Okay? And it's at this point that I'm going to add the spaghetti directly to the sauce without even draining it, because a little bit of this water is actually what we need in the sauce. So I'm just going to lift the spaghetti out, put it in here. I'm going to add a little spoonful of this pasta water, which is a starchy water that helps thicken this sauce. How great does that look? That's my Einar Garten impersonation. How fabulous is that? And if you don't have your own tomatoes, store-bought is fine. And if you can't grow your own basil, store-bought is fine. Okay, there. Turn the heat off. And then cover it. So the heat's been turned off. It's still bubbling because the pot's hot. Cover it while you do the last thing, which is getting some more basil. I really should cut the basil. You shouldn't tear the basil. Now, get a few sprigs of basil. Rinse them off because they were sitting on the fire escape in this New York City air. When I look at the weather every day, it says air quality. Guess what it is every single day? Poor. Sprinkle this just in there. Cover it. Then get your mortar and pestle, which everyone has, and some nice black pepper. This is Tellicherry pepper from India. Coarsely ground, not finely ground. Makes a difference. Okay, that's ready. Okay, I'm going to show you a little tip, and I didn't do it, but I should have done it. When you're cooking like this, and see this pot that's steaming, just take your bowl or your plate and put it on top of the pot. While you're cooking, like I should have done that earlier, and usually if I was by myself, that's what I would have done while I was doing, when the pasta went into here. Ceramic conducts heat. It pulls heat from its environment. So even when you touch it, it feels cool to the touch because it has high thermal conductivity. So it's pulling the heat from your hand faster than the sensation you have from the air, which makes it feel cold. What that means is that when you pull something out of the cupboard, it's a cold piece of ceramic. And when you put your food onto that cold plate, it's quickly sucking the heat from your food out to warm itself, which means that your food is cooling much faster. And if you are the kind of person that enjoys eating warm food, it makes a huge difference when the dish has been warmed. In high-end restaurants, your food will always come to the table on a warmed plate or a warmed bowl. So I emulate that here by just using residual heat to warm up my dish. And see, this pot was steaming. Now this bowl is hot, just from that little bit of steam. So what I would do is I would wipe off the bowl, and now this is a beautifully warmed bowl for my spaghetti, and my spaghetti will stay warm for the entire duration of while I'm eating it. This gets put into the bowl. Sometimes there's very naughty dogs. Very naughty. It's not the dog, it's always the owner. Didn't train the dog. Allowing it to just bark. Naughty owner. Ah, I'm burning myself. Okay, you want every last bit of that beautiful tomato sauce on your pasta. Okay. Now let's take this over here. The last step is a final sprinkling of salt. I like to put Maldon salt on at the end. Black pepper. And a tiny drizzle of the really nice olive oil. And that is a simple tomato, basil, and garlic spaghetti dinner. Quick, easy, inexpensive, incredibly delicious. It is so good. That garlic sizzling in that oil is the most important part of making this. Without browning, it flavors that oil and creates a base for this sauce that just makes the whole dish kind of sweet. Mmm. Hot. But this sauce, it's so plain. It's like there's nothing is popping out. There's no there's no heat from the, well, there's a tiny bit. Everything is very subtle. It's very like nuanced. Just a simple tomato sauce with spaghetti. Try it yourself, follow the steps, and if it doesn't come out this way the first time, just keep doing it. I have made this dish so many times, and it has never grown old on me because it's so fantastic. Enjoy.